Today is a very, very, very special day around the studio here. We've been talking about the book, and I keep talking about the author, and I keep saying all these things about what we're doing. And no, I know what you're thinking. We brought in a male model here, but he is not just a male model. He is also said author of this book right here, which is made available today. It is the release day for the book. His name is John Fast. He's my dude, and I talk too much and I ran out of breath. Welcome to the show, big guy. Give me some.
Thank you very much.
I'm very excited. And I think, and as I sit here and think to myself, I'm very excited. How are you doing? This is a little bit of an exciting moment for you, hey?
I'm tired, man. It's been a lot of work and it's been a long time coming, but I'm really happy that we finally arrived at today.
It's a beautiful thing, and I talk about it all the time with this studio and how it, as long as you open up to the universe, it always gives back and it always puts you on the right path and it always guides you in the right direction. And that's how you sort of walked into this place. Now you became an incredible part of my life personally. I always tell people, yeah, we're recording a book, but it keeps getting in the way of the awesome conversations we keep having. And then all of a sudden, like, oh no, we're out of time because all we do is flirt with each other the whole time.
I wish you really got a sense of humor somewhere along the way, but it's been a lot of fun, Gary, and I appreciate your efforts and thank you for having me here.
It means the world because this was an idea from the start, was to get a booth that was capable of doing something, like getting a book recorded and getting it ready to put out to the world, because audiobooks are a very big thing now. People choose that a lot when it comes to consuming novels and books and all of this information and all this cool stuff, the storytelling. And to finally see what it's like on the other side, it's so incredibly cool for me to be a part of this. And I wanted to thank you personally for that, because I had no idea what it would look like or how it would go. And then you walk in here and right off the bat, we became bros for life. And it's like, okay, well, now I guess we can record a book. And it's sort of what happened in between all the fun we had, right?
It took a while to get the first chapter done, didn't it?
Cool. And then it didn't take as long to do it again, because I'm pretty sure we had a bunch of those things once we found our niche and we found our zone. It was like, well, I don't want to have that first, part that didn't have that flow to it. So the sort of getting ahead and then going back and, pushing forward. The process of doing all this, what's your thoughts on that?
The process was excellent. Like, I had never done anything like this either. Writing the book was one thing, but recording the audiobook has been, it's been an experience, and I think we definitely got better as we went along.
Yes, we did.
It took a little while to work the kinks out, but but it's been good.
It's been fantastic, not just good. It's like I can't stress enough how good this whole process has been for my soul, and that sort of gets into what the book's about. Maybe tell everyone a little bit about what's going on with you. Can't Stop Love, available now, today, on Amazon.
In a nutshell, You Can't Stop Love is the result of the last 31 years of my life. I'm a recovering alcoholic. It was love of my family that really brought me into recovery. And then the people in recovery who loved me back to, I'd like to say sanity, but I think the jury's still out.
Some form of sanity, a little bit, I think, maybe somewhere.
I'm living a much different life today, and I'm full of gratitude for that. And then, what happened to me along the way was, at 12 years sober, I ended up going to the Middle East, and I'm a student of political science and history and conflict resolution. And I went to the Middle East to work in the oil and gas industry, and the first trip changed my life dramatically. I developed a completely different understanding of what a different understanding of the events in the Middle East and the people of the world in general. And when I returned from that first trip to Yemen, I ended up in the I ended up in a convention with 50,000 recovering alcoholics, and it was mind-boggling to me that these people who had once lived a life as insane as I had now become the most peaceful, happiest, kindest, most loving people you'd ever want to meet. And they had been restored to sanity. And that's the title of the book, You Can't Stop Love, Restoring the World to Sanity, One Person at a Time. And the whole point is that what happened that transformed their lives happened after they quit drinking, in sobriety. So, if you're not an alcoholic, you don't you won't feel the need to dramatically change your life. But, like if a bunch of alcoholics can do this, why can't we all? It's really that simple. It had really nothing to do with the fact that they drank, because drinking was no longer a problem in their lives. So they went through this major transformation and found a way to live with joy in their hearts. And if a bunch of drunks can do this, why can't we all?
Yeah. And as a guy who just sat here, and I whenever anyone asked about the process, I would say, well, I started reading the book, and then we got ahead of where I was at, so I just said, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to let him read it to me. So every day we'd come in here, and I was like sitting like the little kid, legs crossed, sitting down. Well, John sits here with the book and just reads and tells his story. And like so many times throughout the process of recording it, there was so many relatable moments, and so many thoughts where I've said, dude, and we would stop in between takes, and I would tell you a story about how, I totally understand what you're saying here. I went through that with this, or my friend did this. Like every single moment of this adventure, this journey that is this book, can be related to by so many different people in so many different ways. And the end goal being, let's be positive, that's that love do the work, is so beautiful to me, because that's what I've been saying forever. And that's how this whole place got started, was giving back and loving each other and treating people how you want to be treated. It's all here in the book.
The change comes from within, and it's about being honest with ourselves about who we are and what we do. And of course, the thought leads to the action. So if the action is insane, obviously the thought is insane. And so, like I stated at the beginning of the book, the two things that really define insanity for me are addiction and war. And I spent 3 years in Yemen, and then I went to Libya, and then I went to Kuwait, and then I went to Iraq, and then I went to Afghanistan.
Don't forget Somalia, and so many more. Like, it's crazy. Like your journey is insane to me. This is what I'm trying to get across to everyone.
Well, and this all happened to me in recovery. I mean, and so the principles that I'm applying in my own life to change the principles of sanity and honesty and patience, kindness, tolerance, and love. I'm looking at the world and I'm asking myself, which one of our nations are really embracing those same principles in how they conduct their affairs? And it's a pretty short list. We're living in a world fueled by ego, and I think that's the interesting thing about addiction, is that I was told very, very early in my recovery that it was my ego, the fear, the greed, and the desire of my ego that created within me a need for more. And of course, it was more alcohol in my case.
Absolutely.
But it's this need for more is perfectly obvious to me as I look at what's going on in the world, how certain individuals with the support of major military machines are in pursuit of more. They want more. And it's an addiction. To me, the parallel between the addiction to alcohol and the addiction for more wealth, more sex, more more, whatever it is you want. Um, that is the problem. The function of the ego creates within us the need for more. And as Eckhart Tolle points out, and I quote him in the book,
He does.
the only thing that gets us out of that need for more is a spiritual transformation. And you can't have a spiritual transformation and lie to yourself. You have to be brutally honest about your own actions and what you see going on around you. And you know, I used to think that this would be the most boring existence, you know, imaginable, and this has just been a beautiful ride. It's been, and you know, I'm a father now, and a grandfather, and a great grandfather, and you can't stop love. It's just there's just so much of it, and I am bewildered after being in all of these countries around the world, why we continue to treat each other the way we treat each other, and the simple fact that all we have to do to change is choose to do so. There's nothing complicated about this.
No, that's the best takeaway, is it's so simple. We say it all the time on all of our, like everything we do, we talk about treat others how you want to be treated, the golden rule. And it's always finished with, it's that easy. All it takes is just putting all your stuff, your ego and everything else in the back seat and say, I want to help. What can I do?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
That's it.
Can we continue as we have? That's the big question, the spine of the whole book, as we look at everything that's going on in our world. Can we continue as we have? And that was a question I asked myself early one morning over 31 years ago. And when I came to the complete conclusion that I was going to be a dead man if I continued living as I have, my life changed. And only because I decided that I wanted it to change. And then I had the courage to go and ask for some help. And I found others like me who love me back to health. But we have, you know, the simple fact of the matter is that the recovery community is active in 177 different countries around the world, and there's millions and millions and millions of us, and it started out as 2 people in 1935. This is a teachable, simple, functional, workable process that anybody can do. All they have to do is decide that they want to, and take a look at their lives and the world that we live in, and just ask themselves that very simple question: can we continue as we have?
As a guy who, and I know you can relate to this very much, we talked about, as a guy who hates being told what to do, who hates being preached at, who hates sitting here while other people tell you what and how to do. None of that ever came across at all during this whole process. And that was one of the things I told you should be so proud of, is getting a message across without ever once making it feel like you're in a pulpit telling people what to do.
More importantly, I think, is that you really get to discover who you really are.
Yeah.
By living this way.
That's
like
it.
the true essence of who you are as a human being comes out. And when we discover who we are at the level of our souls, I mean, our souls aren't violent.
Nope.
Our souls are kind and loving. We have to function on ego to go out into this world and be the destructive creatures that we are sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I'm still bewildered to look at the world and see the destruction. Like, all of our problems are man-made. The environment, the wars, the hatred, the racism, it's all man-made. And all it takes is a choice to make it all different. And while the guys maybe at the top of the food chain who are making billions of dollars off of war, they're the ones controlling our governments. So we may feel like we're helpless, but I really firmly believe that out of the 8 billion souls that are walking on this planet, all we really need to do is wake up. And I think they're scared to death of us.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
last thing
of
they
course.
want is for us to wake up.
Yep.
And I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus or point any fingers, because each of us have a choice in this. Nobody can tell me, and you just so aptly pointed it out,
Yep.
nobody can tell me what I believe. That's a choice that I get to make.
Hell yeah, brother.
And if what I'm doing in this world is bringing pain and suffering to other people, I have to hold myself accountable for that. So if I can't imagine what would it be like if each of us did that, like
Yeah.
just because we do have a choice. We have a
That's it.
choice in everything we do, and by following along with the status quo as we have for a long, long time, and I mean it's worked. We've built incredible societies.
Yep.
But I think we've hit the turning point. And I'm asking people all over the world in my travels, can we continue as we have? And very, very, very rarely do I encounter anybody who thinks that what's going on right now on a global basis is a good thing.
I'm with you, dude. I know we got to get you out of here. I just want to thank you again for changing my life. And this whole process has been so incredible for my soul, and I'm so grateful. And I just want you to know that you're family here now. So if you ever need anything, this is your studio too, just like everyone else. We got your back. And congratulations. Today, the book, You Can't Stop Love, available now. Doesn't that feel good?
It does.
You
a
did
lot
it,
of
man.
work. I'm really happy. Thank you,
You did
Gary,
it.
so much.
Hey, and this is not a goodbye. I know you're going to start traveling, but we got plans. You're not going to be too far away. So I'm just very excited for our future as we continue to grow and move forward.
Where's Johnny?
That's a little hint for you. Dude, thank you so much. Congratulations. This is great. And you're the best, bro.
Thank you, man.
Hey, I love you.
I love you too.